Hi, everyone. So this is a first. I just realized that, sometimes I'll get a request to check out a list and possibly do a reaction to it. And so Tim Kaufman wrote to me on Instagram and he sent me this list. And I did not realize until right now that the article is actually by Tim Kaufman. So thank you, Tim. I hope I don't get all upset with your list. So I haven't looked at it yet, but Paul McCartney is my favorite singer, along with John Lennon. Uh, I'm curious what number one would be. I think my number one would be uh, the backseat of my car from Ram. Maybe I'm Amazed is another great one. Helter Skelter. I'm Down. Long Tall Sally. Yesterday, the way he sings that is just perfect. Uh, Golden Slumbers and Oh Darling from Abbey Road. There's just so many. So here we go. Don't disappoint me, Tim. And he writes here, rock and roll has never run short of musical chameleons. As much as some artists find their sound and stick with it, there are just as many who want to make the strangest thing they've ever heard and share their weird little musical offspring with the rest of the world. Although everyone normally has a clear image in their head of which camp Paul McCartney falls under, he has warped his voice into one of the greatest instruments in rock history. Totally agree. Of all the Beatles, McCartney was far more accustomed to taking on various genres whenever the time called for it. One minute, he could be playing the most raucous rock song that anyone had ever heard, and the next minute, he would be lulling you to sleep with the kind of ballad that even Burt Bacharach would kill to have written. Yeah. His range is just incredible. Another singer, there's a few. Another one I think of is, of course, Russell Mael of Sparks. He's got, his falsetto, and then he can sing lower and a really good range. So here we go. And there's more there if you want to pause the video to read it. Number 10, yeah, Long Tall Sally. And like I said, or I'll have a link for the article too if you want to check it out. Yeah, Long Tall Sally. Great cover of Little Richard's and of Little Richard, and the way he just kind of screams the vocal. Of course, Little Richard was a big influence on Paul McCartney and the Beatles. So that is a good choice, Tim. Oh, that's a surprising one. You never give me your money. Yeah, the way the different, the way he sings the whole song, and kind of gentle, and then he gets a bit more aggressive. Just so impressive. You'd Never Give Me Your Money is far from McCartney's greatest song, but it is one of the first ones that come to mind when thinking about the greatest showcases for his voice. The potential may have shown itself all the way back on Please Please Me, but it took years of practice before he could turn it off and back on again at the drop of a hat. Helter Skelter, yeah. One of the first, maybe it's not the first, but one of the first heavy rock songs, almost heavy metal. Calico Skies, that is a very nice song. Yeah, it's not always about, screaming, and it's singing, in a subtle kind of a way and just getting the emotions out in the song. So that's a nice choice. I wonder what's next. Eleanor Rigby, yeah. I think I was reading up that he wasn't fully confident doing that vocal. Uh, but I mean, it's great, obviously. He was only, what, in his mid 20s, maybe 26, 27, and just a very mature vocal. Another one I would rate really highly from Revolver is For No One. Oh, darling. Yeah, that's one of my favorites. By the time McCartney began work on Abbey Road, he had a pretty good idea of how he wanted his songs to sound. If anything, the fact that he knew what he wanted from his songs was so specific that it started becoming a problem, leaving no room for anyone to improvise by the time the track got into the studio. That didn't mean it was easy going, and McCartney really had to work at his craft before he could holler, like on Oh Darling. Yeah, he would come in every day and just kind of get his voice rougher and rougher. And I know that John Lennon had said that he wished he had sung that song. I think, like I've said before, I think John Lennon was jealous of Paul McCartney. And I'm not saying, sometimes maybe Paul was jealous of John too. But I don't think John, as great of a singer as he was, could surpass what Paul did on Oh Darling. Number 4, Waterfalls, McCartney too. That's a very nice song. Yeah, and I love McCartney too. One of These Days is another really nice song on McCartney too that Paul sings so well. All right, the top 3. There better be a song from Ram. That's all I know. Yeah, Uncle Albert, Admiral Halsey. It's time that most critics from back in the day give their due apology to McCartney for Ram. Yeah, it was really bashed when it came out, even from some fans and Ringo Starr. Upon release, critics absolutely loathed this album and were among the first to say that the cute Beatle had nothing left in the tank and was bound to become a relic of the past. Now that Ram is becoming known as one of the forebearers in modern indie music, Uncle Albert, Admiral Halsey could very well be McCartney's magnum opus. Yeah, it is. It is my favorite Paul McCartney album. And then second, it's probably Chaos and Creation in the Backyard. Ooh, number 2. Yeah, Yesterday. Some people would kind of question that, I guess, because it's such a, fairly simple song. But just the way he sings it, he doesn't over sing, like some people would do. He just sings the song and he gets, like I said, the emotions out and the point of the song. And it's just gorgeous. Number 1, Don't Let Me Down, Tim. Yeah. When Ram came out, for the first few years, I really liked the album a lot. I loved it. But there was something about the backseat of my car. Maybe I thought it was like overproduced or whatever. I don't know. But it took me years to realize what a great song it is, what an epic it is. And his vocals are just insane on that song. And, props to Linda McCartney too, of course, and everybody that played on Ram. Yeah, another great one is Monkberry Moon Delight. Yeah. Despite the various vocal marvels he gave his fans throughout the years, the outro of this song might be his crowning achievement, taking his voice into different areas that no one would have dared to touch at the time. Then again, it wasn't like the vocal highlights were over after this one song. It was just a warning that Macca could still cut loose when he wanted to, and he would spend the next 50 years doing exactly that. So excellent, Tim. Everybody has their own choices, but it's really nice to see the backseat of my car at number one. I'm happy. So I would love everybody's thoughts on what are your favorite vocals by Paul McCartney in the Beatles, and of course in his solo career. And thanks again, Tim, and thanks everybody. Please remember to like the video, leave a comment below, and subscribe. Bye.